Okay, let's get to it. All right, welcome back to another 28 days of Black History Month. Today's episode is episode 4 and it is going to be about Dick Gregory. With your host, Black Nation Productions. All right, so let's get into it. Now, I actually did some research. I actually did some research about Dick Gregory a long time ago. It was around the time, probably 2016 and near 2017, before he died, because he was still alive when I started to do my research about him. And I watched videos about him. I figured out that he was a comedian, but he was, he's a comedian, actor, writer, activist, all that good stuff. I mean, he was almost like any other African American back then. Whether you were a magician, you were an activist. If you were a football player, you were an activist. No matter what your job title was, somewhere in that would be an activist, because you were for the people. You, like, all the stuff they went through, they had to run so we could fucking walk. You know what I mean? They ran so today there can be a ton of YNs out here doing dumb shit. That's what they ran for. So we can we can have little black boys out here acting like they YNs. Right? That's what they ran for. But that's beside the point. Dick Gregory is probably like the one of the main people. When I started doing research on him and I found out he was alive, I really wanted to meet him. Dick Gregory and Barack Obama were the two main people that I literally wanted to meet, because Dick Gregory just, like, he was smart. Like, he was really smart, Dick Gregory became popular among the African American communities in the southern United States with his no holds barred sets poking fun at bigotry and racism in the United States. In 1961, he became a staple in the comedy club, appeared on television, and released comedy record albums. Dick Gregory was that guy, though. And I would say, if you really wanted to know more about Dick Gregory, the best place to go is obviously go to YouTube, but then also go to Real Black 2. That was my favorite place to go to for information on Dick Gregory, and Dick Gregory actually did a lot of interviews with Real Black 2. I love watching his interviews, because when you've been alive, when you've been alive for 84 years, you got a lot of experience and a lot of, how can I put this? You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot that could help, that could shape the next generation, if we all weren't that stupid. So, it's actually pretty crazy. I know he was around the time Martin Luther King Jr. was alive as well. Dick Gregory was at the forefront of political activism in the 1960s when he protested against the Vietnam War and racial injustice, and advocated for animal rights. He was arrested multiple times and went on many hunger strikes. Later, he became a speaker and author, and his autobiography selling over 1 million copies. Dick Gregory died of heart failure at age 84 at Washington. He was a great guy. He really was a great guy. Really a stand-up guy too, because you can kind of tell if you watch any of the videos. And I mean, he was already a comic, so he had thick skin. So you can tell he was a type of, like, older man. He was a type of grandpa you fucking needed, that really didn't give a fuck about your feelings. He wants to tell you the truth. He wants you to understand that this is the truth. You can't change it. You can only deal with it. I think a lot of kids nowadays, they kind of need that. You don't need, all this coddling that we do. Dick Gregory wasn't really about that. He was, set in his ways as an old man, and it's like, you can't do anything with that. He just had it, man. You know what I mean? And I know I'm glazing like hell, but Dick Gregory is my guy, man. And he is so much my guy that he is the fourth person on this list because he deserves it. And he died of heart failure, but he is going to rest in power just like all the other rest of them, except for Grace Moore, who is not dead. Okay, so we're going to. Well, I talked a little bit about it. I enjoyed Dick Gregory. His jokes was actually funny, and a lot of people probably didn't know this either. That Dick Gregory was actually on Reno 911. He played. Honestly, I only seen the clip about it, but I will look it up after this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here is Dick Gregory.
Comedian, social activist, writer, entrepreneur.
Dick Gregory
was a force to be reckoned with.
He used his comedy as a political tool
That helped shape and change the way blacks were perceived in the 1960s and from there on. Gregory was one of the first comedians to earn wide acclaim performing for white audiences. He told it like it was, to their faces, and they understood. It was a volatile time. Gregory was there for the jokes, but it was hard for him to just make folks laugh. He had to do something more. He had to make them think. From the moment he stepped on stage in 1958 and through the 60s, Gregory was in no way your typical comedian. He championed for civil rights, fought against the Vietnam War, taught economic empowerment, created anti-drug programs, encouraged wellness and health for black people, and much more. From
And that's what you got to do. Dick Gregory is that nigga. He really was. He did do a lot. It's like, I'm glad that they said telling jokes in front of white people, but he wanted to make you think. Now that's somebody I can get behind. You're not just telling jokes to make people laugh. You telling them something that they are actually going to have to think about. So that means once they figure that out, that's going to be in their mind for however long it is. It's going to be in their mind forever. Once you get somebody to think and they start using their own brain power, so whatever you leave them with, that's going to stay with them for the rest of their life. In their later years, they're going to be thinking about, I do remember that. And that was funny because he made me think.
To China, Dick Gregory was everywhere, spreading laughter, pride, knowledge, along with much respect. He was a legend, a pioneer, a hero, a loving human being who loved his people, honoring the great Dick Gregory.
Oh yeah, this was nice. This was actually nice. I'm not even gonna lie, because Dick Gregory is an author. He really is. Not that one yet. But I love this one.
What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. You can never force nobody else to wear them. So, what's dangerous is when the universe pick you.
That's tough. That is tough. When I heard that was like a whole different story, where the universe pick you. So now you only get to see you don't get to see you don't see things how they should be. You see things how they are.
My mother taught me, you're not poor, you're just broke. And then she explained to me and to the rest of the children, to be poor is a mental condition. And to be broke is a temporary situation.
Oh, my God. I swear I love old people because they know how to speak that truth. They know how to.
What's dangerous?
This is the same one. This is the same one.
Dangerous.
Boy, I swear.
Everything the universe want me to have, I got the same thing Queen Elizabeth got. Huh? I got the same thing. You see, the universe made women, and men made queens. The universe made men, and men made kings. The difference between a woman and a queen and a man and a king is the way you wrap the gift. So I see your sister. I say, hey, baby, you sure mellow. Wow. So to convince her I love her, I go buy her a gift. I go to Target. But on the way back, I stop at Saks Fifth Avenue, and get them to put Saks Fifth Avenue tags in. I go by Neiman Marcus and get him to gift wrap it. Oh, he loves me. Huh? See how it works?
I swear, I would love that. I would love to have had met him, and really, just like a simple conversation, because he's the type like I'm glazing him so much because as a black person living in the world today, you gotta be smart. You gotta be smart. You gotta have something about you. You really do. You need to have something about yourself that you can use, and you gotta have some type of smarts about you, because there is no room. There is no room for dumb black people in 2026. There is no room. White people got the privilege to be dumb. They got wealth. They got generational wealth. They got time. You know, as black people, we don't. Okay, we don't. It ain't time to be dumb. You gotta have something. You get smart. Like, get your smarts up. That's the main thing. You know, because if you're smart enough, then you can make money. I don't see a lot of dumb. I don't see. I don't. You just need to have something. Okay. In today's age, you gotta have some type of knack if you're going to be a black person. Okay, and I would say get smarts. Becoming smart is something that's going to help you, your kids, anybody you come in contact with that you can help. Is going to help. Being smart. I can't stand broke dumb niggas. I cannot stand broke dumb niggas. It's like you gotta pick a struggle. You can either be broke and smart. Right? You can be broke or smart. You gotta be one or the other. Okay, I can't stand a broke dumb nigga. Okay, you gotta pick one. You pick a struggle. Okay, pick a struggle. Okay, you cannot be both. Not in 2026. Okay, not in 2026. I'm not having it in 2026, man. You can't. I swear to God, you have something. Like, you ain't got nothing. Go find something. Okay, go find something. And what was I looking up? Wasn't he on Reno 911? I swear he was on it. Yes. Literally, he was on it. Oh, and he actually did. I don't know why I didn't think he knew Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney was actually funny too, especially when he was on the Dave Chappelle show. He kind of had that. Paul Mooney and Dick Gregory kind of had the same mentality where when they told a joke, how they said it was just so stern and like to the truth. You know, it was like so stoic. Like, it wasn't like they're making a face. It was, this is what the joke is. You laugh or you don't. I'm going to the next one. You know, that's kind of how it was. And Paul Mooney was funny, but it took me a while to get used to his jokes. And Dick Gregory, it didn't take me that much because I kind of already liked him already because of all the interviews he did and all the other stuff. Not saying that Paul Mooney didn't do that too, but I just got to do more research on Paul Mooney.
Oh, Sheriff Department.
Ain't no way. I'm sorry. Okay. I did not know that they was going to portray him like this. Okay. I want him to rest in power, but this ain't it. This ain't it. But I get it's a TV show, and Reno 911 is just. See, she got it. See, that nigga standing next to it, Uncle Tom ass nigga, where it's like, you've been around white people too much. You gotta, you can tell black, like, you can tell somebody who's who still got that soul, and then who's an Uncle Tom. Because black people generally got that soul. They got some swagger about them. You know what I mean? They got that soul. You can kind of feel it in their voice when they, how they speak about things. You can spawn an Uncle Tom.
White partner. Brother. What you do with this redneck?
Okay, yeah. I swore he was on there. I seen one clip about him on Reno 911.
Who you gonna call?
Hell yeah. One clip about him being on Reno 911. And I was like, I thought that was pretty cool. Okay. I don't watch Reno 911. I didn't watch it when it came out. I know it's funny. So he was just back there getting necked this whole time. This video is going off the rails so much, it's not even funny. But I'm gonna let it play. He ain't got no soul. He ain't got no soul behind it. You been around white people too long. You ain't got no soul. You pronouncing every letter now. Come on now. All right. Let's get back. But that was actually pretty funny. That was actually pretty funny. So now the last video
that most of his mothers and fathers made. When I wake up in the morning, my prayers, and I thank God I woke up, the Ku Klux Klan woke up this morning. The drug pushers woke up this morning. I thank God that I made another 24 hours in the most vicious, nasty, hateful, insane nation that's ever existed with my wits, without hating, without being bitter, without being mean. And I thank God that I survived 24 hours in that type of atmosphere with the type of amusement and friendliness. And so I would say to young folks, don't be in a state of denial of the racism and sexism, but don't let that block you. Don't teach your children that you have to be twice as good as a white. That's an awful thing to teach your child. Mm-hmm. That's like saying because you're black, white America has a right to change your dollar for 94 cents. But we used to get 50 cents, and before that we used to get nothing. Young folks have to say, we don't want more change for $1. Excuse me, we want a full dollar's change for $1, or this cash register will never ring again.
Yes.
I would also like for young blacks to understand that about 83% of all employment happen with small businesses. And excuse me, if you don't have a small business, then you have nobody to work for you. And I would say to young blacks, get into entrepreneurship. We will never catch up with white America till we get into business, because there's a thing called tax write-offs. And if you have a job and come together, 10 of you, and open up a corporation and have somebody run it, you hiring somebody to run it, but you have tax write-offs. 98% of people that fly first class on airplanes would not be there if that wasn't a write-off. And yet, on that first class, they gave away last year $800 million, almost $1 billion of free whiskey. But if a welfare mother asked for some apple juice for the baby, she's laughed at. And so I would say entrepreneurship, and then understand that we will never survive as a group until we get into communities and not neighborhoods. A community is, I control the police, the banks, the schools, the firefighters, and I control the flow of the money. And I have no problem when I go in a Jewish neighborhood and the shop owners are Jewish, and I go into an Italian neighborhood and the shop owners are Italian. I have a problem when I come in a black neighborhood and the shop owners is not me. A Korean has a right to come in and buy my shop for $30 million more than it's worth. That's good business. But if we decide that we're not going to do business with that one, then he'll have to sell it back, or she'll sell it back to a black person for $1 million. And then the money circulates and circulates, and that's how you change. We've been so busy dealing with the hurt and the pain and the misery and glamorizing a hand few that have made it, that we have never really looked at, like they say, your role model. If you haven't got a role model in your house, you should fall on your knees and pray to God, because something is wrong.
Yes.
And so I would say to young folks, it's not about alcohol, but it's hard for me to say that to you when a 5-year-old got to reach past mama's beer and papa's wine to get some mayonnaise. I would also say to young folks that the number one drug that will wipe you out is not cocaine, it's not heroin, it's marijuana, and they deliberately make that a recreation drug, but it stays in the muscles, it stays in the blood, and it will wipe out your memory bank. And also, this is the first time in the history of TB that TB has always been known as poor folks. It's the first time that TB is not running rampant in the ghetto. It's running rampant in middle income white America, because it's the marijuana that they spray, and that's no accident. And so I would just say to young folks, you have to reevaluate everything you've been taught. I would say to the black folks that just because a black person is 90 years old don't mean they have wisdom, and you need to listen to them, because if you was dumb and stupid when you was 9, you dumb and stupid when you 90.
Ooh, God. Know a lot of dumb niggas like that, boy. Trying to act like they older than you. It's like, I'm looking at you dumb. Oh man, but he really do speak some truth, man. He really do speak some truth. I ain't even gonna lie about that. He really do speak some truth. And I guess that's it for today. So episode 4 is done. Dick Gregory, and I will be on tomorrow.